Hello.
Hello.
I'm Adam.
I'm ReAnna.
And this is the Mom and Dad Cuss a Little podcast.
Yay.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
And this is a show where we share our fun stories of marriage and parenting to our 4 little boys and other shit that comes into mind.
Lots of random tangents.
Yep.
Things of that nature. But mostly marriage and parenting.
Yep.
Ish.
We try. That's the best I can promise. We try.
We do. You're very trying.
I'm trying, really.
Yes.
Have you met you?
Rude?
Fair.
Fine.
So, dear, it's been a few weeks. How are you doing?
Well, I'm here.
Yeah.
I have survived up to this point, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's about the best I can say. It's been a rough few weeks.
Yeah.
You know, still trying to get into the whole, I guess we're more into the whole school routine with the boys, and
Yeah.
it's new this year because I'm dropping them off in the mornings, except for Mondays when they start late, but
Yay!
but it's just kind of, it's weird for me because now it's like, you know, I've got to be the one, where are your shoes?
Yeah. I don't have all of the stress of having to get up and get them and fight with them about where the fuck are your goddamn shoes?
Yeah. And then we get in the car and it's, get buckled! What do you mean you can't get buckled? Help him buckle. God, get buckled! We are not leaving this driveway. I'm leaving this driveway. I don't even care if you're buckled at this point. We're leaving.
What do you mean you can't find your shoes?
It's true. It's what happens.
No, I literally used to have that problem with Bug, though. Like, we get into the car, and he'd immediately
take his shoes off.
and then he'd take his socks off. And so it'd be like, we get,
He is my
like,
child.
get out of the car, and I'm having to sit there and re-shoe the child so that he can walk back inside to take his shoes off.
Well, see, the annoying thing for me is I don't give myself a lot of time to get up and get dressed in the morning.
No shit.
I give myself about 30 minutes before I need to be walking out the door.
I wouldn't even say you give yourself that much.
And my alarm gives me that much.
You hit snooze until it stops snoozing.
But I expect the boys to get up, get dressed, and eat breakfast because they are capable of doing these things on their own.
Yeah.
They do not need me to sit there and spoon feed them or anything like that.
Yeah, they are completely capable of getting up, getting dressed, getting breakfast, having everything ready completely on their own. They don't need to be told to do these things.
Exactly.
Except this last week.
And the week before.
Well, I know it was like
the week before that.
Well, I know this last week was like, we had multiple days where we got up, where it's like 5 minutes till you guys have to walk out the door, and they're sitting there pouring milk into their cereal bowl. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Or they haven't even done that. They've just been watching TV.
Yeah.
And they don't even eat breakfast. And I'm like, well,
we don't have time.
That's on you. We're leaving. You can have toast in the car.
Yeah.
Which sucks because now there's toast crumbs all over the backseat. But
oh well.
At least they ate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've been really frustrated with them lately because I don't know if it's school or if it's kids at school or what it is. And I talked to Carolyn about it, my stepmom, and she kind of gave me a little bit of perspective. So what had happened was Charlie and Damien apparently are bullied a lot at school from what they tell me.
Yeah. There's at least there's a couple of brothers or something like that. Like, there's some kids that pick on them.
Yeah. And they do it pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. You know, Charlie and Damien do tell a teacher when it happens, which they have been trained, you know.
Yeah.
Something happens, go tell a teacher, let them know the situation, stay away from those kids.
Yeah.
They've also been told you are not allowed to start fights, but if it comes to that, you may finish it.
Yeah. You can defend yourself if you have to, but you should not have to. If you need to stand up for yourself,
then do it, but do not dare throw that first punch.
Yeah.
Because I will knock you out.
Yeah.
I don't care if the other kid hits you and you have to stand up for yourself. That's fine. I get it. That's cool. But don't you dare. But I guess because of that, maybe they've been bringing home really shitty attitudes
Yeah.
And just like, and it's manifesting in not just their attitude, like verbally, outwardly, whatever. They are lying and sneaking things and stealing things and, you know, as far as the attitude goes, throwing tantrums and being bossy to each other and back-talking you and me. And it's just getting to the point where I'm losing my mind with these children.
I kind of see a lot of like how in the past we've dealt with that with Charlie, where like the kids at school, suddenly his behavior changes once he's back to school.
Yep.
And his friends at school are, you know, like, oh, he's around these kids that get away with a lot of shit with their parents. Mm-hmm. And he thinks, and they'll talk about their parents and they'll talk about things a certain way, and he'll bring that attitude home. And it's like, oh, hell no, that's not how you behave. And that's not how you were raised. And you do not talk to people like you don't talk to people in general like that. Let
sure
alone
as hell
us.
Don't talk to me like that.
Like you want to talk to me that way, I can smack that attitude right out your mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's been getting progressively worse.
Yeah.
And so last week or the week before, I don't remember which, I finally sat them down and I was like, this is enough. Enough is enough. I'm done. I'm tired of it. This is not happening anymore.
Yeah.
You are not going to be sneaking and stealing things. We had bought you, like, this is petty, I know, but we had bought you, like, one of those mixed grab bags of 20 varieties of chips.
Yeah, because, and it basically was like, we bought all of these snacks and things for me to take to work because I've unfortunately had to do a lot of vending machine purchases.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, buying gummy worms and bags of chips and candy bars. And so we bought
those
all
purchases add up.
Yeah, and those add up, especially vending machine prices. Oh my God. But we bought basically the big grab bag of chips and Reese's cups and gummy worms and all the things that I normally buy to snack on so that I'm not buying them in a vending machine.
Right.
And I look up one day and like, we bought them
like maybe 2 days later.
Yeah.
Because it was over the weekend.
Yeah, because we got them on Saturday and then Tuesday I'm going to work.
And all of them are gone.
Yeah, like half the bag is gone. And I'm going in and I think I'm in the bathroom, in the boys' bathroom with Bug. And I look and there's like 10 bags of chips their empty chip bags in their trash. And I'm just like, oh, you pieces of shit. and that's in like 2 days.
Yeah.
And even worse, they ate all the good shit.
And they left you all the crap.
They left all the crap that I wasn't going to eat. I'm like, what the
Yeah. So that's kind of what tipped everything over the edge. Yeah. I think was just, I'm done. You guys are sneaking and stealing stuff. And it wasn't just food. It was toys that were put on top of the entertainment center for, you know, taking them away for punishment reasons or whatever. They would climb up on the desk and get it.
Yeah.
It was, you know, and it wasn't just sneaking food at night because they were hungry. They were sneaking food in the middle of the day if we weren't in the same room.
Yeah.
You know? So it wasn't just that they were hungry. It was just that they wanted junk.
Yeah. They wanted the junk because like all responsible parents, we keep the junk food up high and away from the children. So they devised ways to climb on top of shit to get to it.
Yeah.
And I remember catching Charlie one day standing on the counter in front of the microwave trying to, I'm like, what the hell are you doing up there? And like, I'm trying to get plates. I'm like, there's no reason for you to be standing on the counter to get plates down.
Yeah. Well, and see, in that reaction right there, he lied.
Yeah.
So that's what, do not lie to me. Do not lie to me.
Yeah. It's like, I can deal with you stealing candy all damn day, really.
Yeah,
you're going to get in trouble.
You're going to get in trouble, and I get it. I understand why you're doing it, and yes, you're going to get in trouble. But you lie to me.
That's 100 times worse.
You just... So.
You're going to get yelled at for stealing my candy. You're going to get spanked and grounded for lying to me.
Yeah. And yelled at.
And yelled at. What's the thing is, they double down on the lie.
Oh, yeah.
They will lie and lie and lie. They would lie until the needle is in their arm.
Yep.
You know, there is no, I applaud their determination. Now's not the time.
Exactly. So I broke. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't handle it anymore. I'm done. I'm over it. I can't do it. And I went and got a baby video monitor system from Target.
Yeah. With the talkback function.
With the talkback function. It's actually a really nice one. We should post a link to it on Amazon. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's spiffy.
So I went and got a video monitor system and told them, you want to act like babies? I'm going to watch you like your babies. And that's how it's going to be.
Yep.
I'm going to put one in your room so I can make sure you're in your room asleep when you're told to be asleep. And I'm going to put one in the living room so I can make sure you're not getting into stuff you're not supposed to be getting into.
Yeah.
Because obviously I can't trust you to do these things on your own. I have to watch you like your little babies.
Yep.
And that pissed him off, which I don't care. And, you took away their stuffed animals. You took all their toys out of the room, all their stuffed animals. Basically, all they have in their room is their clothes and their beds.
Yep.
That was it. All the books, all the toys, all the stuffed animals, gone. Mm-hmm. It was, you are not allowed to have this anymore. And they got damn lucky that we didn't have enough money because I was going to get us another baby gate.
Yeah. But we use that Rolex baby gate, so.
Yeah. It's a really nice one. But yeah, so everything got taken away. Video monitors went up. They weren't allowed to do anything. They were grounded for a week.
Yep.
And I was like, this is it. You are not allowed out of your room unless I explicitly say so. You are not allowed to touch anything in this house unless I explicitly say so. When you come home, you do your homework, you eat your dinner, you go get in your bed. You can sit there. You can sit there and stare at the walls for all I care, but that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's what they did for a week.
Yep.
And during that same week, we had parent-teacher conferences, which went amazingly well, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell these kids are when they're at school, but...
Apparently they're decent at school.
Yeah. Apparently they're like the best kids in class at school.
Of course. And, they had a good week at home.
Yeah.
I didn't have to fight with them. They knew that they were in a world of trouble. Mm-hmm. The video monitor system worked really well.
Yeah.
Especially with the talkback function. I saw them when they got up in the morning and told them, I'm watching. Basically, good morning and get dressed. And then when they came out to the living room,
turn the TV off.
And when they come out to the living room, turn the TV off so they know that I'm watching.
Yep.
And they know that, they need to be doing what they need to be doing. And so it worked really, really well for the first week and a half.
Yeah.
And now we're back into they're starting to get into that not doing what they're supposed to be doing in the mornings.
We're having to use the talkback function to alert them, hey.
You've got 5 minutes, get your butts dressed,
Or you've been caught. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I was a day, there was like 5 a.m. and they're both up and playing around in their room.
Oh, yeah.
And and it happens, the monitor was over on my side of the bed that night, and I just push the button, get in bed. And I just see they bolt. It was like, oh shit.
You know how when you turn on a light and things scatter?
Yeah, there were cockroaches scattering.
But and I honestly don't know how to deal with it because this is new territory for me. I was relatively well behaved, at least to the point where, once I got caught in my lies, they ended.
Yeah.
Granted, it was about 3rd grade, which is what Charlie is, when I got really heavy into lying to my dad and to Carolyn, but they caught it. They stopped it. I was pulled off student council. I was pulled off volleyball. I had no life.
Yeah.
And
now we do that on purpose.
Yeah, now I do that on purpose. And it worked. We don't have any of that stuff for the boys to take away from them.
Yeah.
And, they've already got, as far as the sneaking and stealing food, they've already got snacks that they don't technically have to ask for.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to ask for it, but they know I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. They've got
cheese
built-in
sticks,
yes snacks.
Apples, healthy things.
Yeah.
That absolutely.
They like that they will eat.
Yeah. So there are things that they can have that all they have to do is make sure, clear it with me that you're getting it.
Yeah, they know
you can't have it right before dinner, but...
Yeah, exactly. They know with me especially because after school, I'm like, okay, I will allow an after school snack, but it's got to be something small. It's like, you can have a cheese stick, or you can have, you didn't eat your goldfish with your lunch, you can eat your goldfish, or you can have a little bag of pretzels. Because they were getting, It was
pretzels. That's the other one that we have.
Yeah, pretzels. Like,
it's like, I know we've got more that I usually say yes to. I just don't know what they are.
Like, but I noticed like Charlie and Bug would like eat a whole apple.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think anything of it. It's like, oh yeah, it's fine. Have an apple. Good. We've got tons of apples. Great. Eat fruit. And then I realized it was like every day. It was like whenever they had an apple, they'd like take 2 bites. They weren't touching their dinner. I'm like, it's like, all right, no more apples after school. It's like, take one with your lunch. But no more apples after school because you're not eating your dinner. And I'm not going to sit here doing all this work cooking and making dinner for you guys for you to not eat it.
Yeah, which is fair. And on the weekends, they are allowed to have apples because we usually have smaller dinners because it's me cooking and I'm not very good at cooking. So we usually have like mac and cheese.
Yeah. But even like I had like mac and cheese nights where they didn't want to eat.
Yeah,
like,
except you make like homemade mac and cheese with sausage. I make Annie's.
Yeah, I know. You make Annie's. But they were not even finishing like half their bowl. Like, oh, well, hell no. No.
I mean, see, with me, well, with you, they have snacks that they're allowed to have.
Yeah.
That all they have to do pretty much is just alert you that they're getting one.
Yeah, pretty
They
much.
have the same thing with me, and that includes apples, at least with me. So it's not that they were hungry. No. It's not that they, needed something to eat right then or they were going to shrivel up and die. Yeah. That's not the case. They were just stealing. They were just stealing food.
Before they were stealing food because they wanted it.
Yeah.
Because they saw, ooh, look, Doritos. I want the Cheetos. I want the Doritos.
Yeah. So I made sure to, reinforce that these are things that y'all can have that, 29 times out of 30, maybe once a month, I'm going to tell you no.
Yeah. I'm going to say, no, we're about to have dinner. So.
And it's not a no, it's just a not right now.
Yeah.
If you're still hungry after dinner, then we'll talk about it. But
yeah, exactly.
Eat your dinner first. So, I mean, I don't know how to deal with it. And I don't know what's causing it because it's gotta be back to school. It's gotta be them getting bullied. And so they come home and they let it out here. No. But we had this kind of established theory that if you can behave for the week, be good at school, get all green at school or, green or higher.
Level, your top level behavior for the class.
Be good at home and keep your room clean. That is literally all I ever ask of you. I just want to come home to a house that doesn't look like a tornado ripped through it. That's all I ever ask.
We have 4 boys. That's a tough order.
But keep your room clean for the week. Yeah. And behave. That's all I ask. And then we'll go do something fun on Sundays.
Yeah.
We have done something fun once. And it was parent-teacher conference week because they had a really good parent-teacher conference and it was the first week of, total lockdown.
Yeah. They were on their best behavior because they were on lockdown the whole week.
So I don't know what to do. Like, do we have to keep them on total lockdown? Do I need to go get a baby gate to make sure they're not getting up at 5 a.m? Like, I'm starting to think that maybe we do.
The problem isn't at this point them sneaking out and getting into stuff. They've stopped stealing food and stopped stealing
Damien
junk.
Still sneaks out at 5 a.m. and goes and plays in the bathrooms.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a little ninja too. He's sneaky.
Yeah, I know.
I don't hear him until I hear our cabinet close or something.
Yeah, that sucks.
You little shit, get out of there.
Yeah, it's like he sneaks into our room and sneaks into the bathroom and is playing around with stuff in our bathroom. We're like, what the hell are you doing in our bathroom at 5 a.m?
Yeah.
Get out of here. Go to bed. It's 5 a.m. Go back to bed. I sure as hell don't want to be awake right now telling you to go to bed.
Exactly. So it's frustrating because I don't know what to do.
I don't know. Like I said, the best I can say is they've stopped stealing stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the stealing stuff, they've always done that.
They have.
Every time we've had any candy or any treats in the house,
they've always done that. And we never had
controlled release. They've always stolen them.
Yeah.
And so I always tell them, you realize the reason we don't give you these candies and these treats is because I keep catching you stealing them.
Yeah.
Is that I look in your bed and I see candy wrappers and I see, lollipop sticks under your pillow. Like, I'm not going to give you the candy as a treat if I know you've been actively stealing them in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's going to be trial and error for a while, I guess. But they're making progress. They're getting better. It took turning it into a prison to get a little bit of progress. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. And I mean, I've talked to a couple of people about it. Carolyn, my sister-in-law, and they're like, "Well, maybe I'll just need to loosen up." And yeah, maybe we do.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
we are very strict parents.
We are, but at the same time, they need to realize that there are certain expectations of them. And when I ask them to do a simple chore like sweep the floors, if I get this total meltdown hissy fit, literally throwing yourself on the floor, kicking things and screaming, that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And that will not be tolerated. I don't care if you're being punched in the face day to day at school. You are not going to come home and act like that.
Yeah.
If you're being punched in the face day to day at school, talk to me. But we're not having this kind of attitude. And that's the kind of attitude that at least Charlie has had. Mm. I ask him to pick up the books and it's a total meltdown.
It's too much. I can't do this by myself.
Yeah. Literally throws himself on the floor, howling.
Oh, God, that sound. That howling. It pushes me. I go from, I'm upset because your stuff is a mess, go clean up your mess, to
having to physically restrain myself.
Yeah, I hear that and I'm like just in.
It sets your teeth on edge.
It's a rage button.
Yeah.
It's like you smash that rage button and it stuck.
Yeah.
And I just want to hit something and I have to stop there and just, okay, I'm not going to hit anything. I'm not going to hit anything.
No, I'm the same way.
Just
freaking howl.
Yeah. And I've never been beyond, like, above spanking the boys. It's like, no. I got my ass whooped as a kid. I'm not above. I would never got
There's
abused.
a difference between spanking and beating.
Exactly. It's like, I didn't get beaten. I deserved every time I got spanked. I will own up to that. I got
spanked, like, twice.
By your parents?
Calm down now.
I just had to point that out. Sorry.
Yes. I got spanked like twice by Carolyn, and then I complained to my mom.
I hate you.
Yeah, and then I complained to my mom. My mom called my dad. It was this thing, and it didn't happen anymore. Then I had to clean the bathroom with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Then she got real crafty. After she couldn't spank me. Then she got crafty.
But I've always insisted that I never spank the boys if I'm angry.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I'm angry, I am not going to restrain myself and I might hurt them. I might legitimately hurt them. I'm not about to do that. If I'm angry, I'm staying the hell away from them.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay over here. You're going to stay over there because right now I do not want to look at you.
Well, and that's what they tell new parents when the baby is fussy. If he gets to that point where you're getting frustrated,
put the baby down,
walk away, go breathe for 5 minutes, come back,
calm down.
You're okay.
Because that's where shaking baby comes from.
Exactly. And we had to sign that paper in the hospital saying that we wouldn't shake the baby.
They said nothing about throwing him up in the air.
Don't do that either.
They like it up until they're about 3.
Yeah.
And then they realize that they're falling and then it's not funny anymore. It's ha ha, and then that's what happens.
That's exactly how it goes.
Right now, Bug is at that point where he doesn't like me throwing him in the air anymore. Sam still likes it.
Only for about another year.
I got about another year of being able to toss Sam in the air. Either way, from day one, Mom doesn't like that.
I hate it. It's the absolute worst thing you could possibly do in front of me with the boys.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'd rather you take them to Hooters and, just completely corrupt them. Don't throw my babies in the air.
I would never do that. God, I have no interest in going to Hooters. Honestly, really, I have zero interest in going to Hooters.
Now we know why the boys lie.
Why? No, because I honestly have no interest in their food, and I'm sorry.
God.
We live in Arizona.
You'd rather go to Tilted Kilt.
Well, there's that. But
love how you don't deny it. Thanks, dude.
Well, no, but I'm also saying, like, really, we live in Arizona. Even through the fall, you don't have to go to a restaurant to see girls in shorty shorts and tank tops. And the girls out on the street, perfectly innocent girls, mind you, are going to be wearing less clothes than the Hooters girls.
This is true.
Because it's Thursday. So, I have zero interest in going to Hooters.
That's funny. But, so that's what we're dealing with right now, is trying to figure out where is that balance between I love you, but I want to rip your head off right now. Yeah. And I love you so much. Let's go paint rainbows.
Yeah, I forget which. I forget. It was like a parenting person or like I forget who it was that I heard. And they were basically saying, like, you don't have to like your kids. You don't. Like, you love your kids because they're your kids and they're a part of you and all these things. You don't have to like them. You can think your son's a complete a-hole. like, my kid's a piece of shit. I want to smack him upside the head on a daily basis. I love him, but fuck that kid.
Well, see, I have this whole thing where I don't like kids in general.
Yeah.
I've never liked kids. I didn't really want kids when we got together.
Yeah.
I wanted cats.
You wanted cats. I had cats. That's why we were together.
Pretty much. And you had good DVDs.
I had the Crazy Cat Lady starter kit.
Yep. That's exactly what it was.
I had 8 cats when we met.
Yeah. So yeah, but now we have 4 boys. Now we have 4 boys and 2 cats. Kind of had to, learn to, at least at the very bare minimum, tolerate children.
Yeah.
So,
there's that.
There's that. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the best that can be said.
Some of the stuff that we're doing is working. Most of it is not.
Mm.
If you have any suggestions out there. Oh, and we have gotten some suggestions, like from sister-in-laws and your sister, who, have said various things, like, add more snacks that they're allowed to have, like granola bars or something that's sweet, but something still okay for them, and something that's still a treat.
Stuff they'll ask for.
Make sure you do Sunday Fun Day. Carolyn even said, hell, if the older 2 haven't made it through the week meeting your expectations, take the younger 2 and go do something. Or take them all, but make the older 2 sit out.
Yeah.
Go to a park, make the older 2 sit on the bench with you, and watch while dad and the other 2 go play.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's
pretty much how it would be, because I can guarantee Bug and Sam are going to outperform Charlie and Damien any week.
Yeah. And I'm not getting up to go play with them, because no.
Yeah. I don't see you going down the slide with Sam.
No. Things like that, or like even one that we got that I thought was kind of intense was wash their mouth out with soap.
Yeah.
I mean,
my sister's done that to her kids.
I get it, and it worked, but I just don't think that's something that I have the gumption to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to. So, I've threatened it a few times, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
The threat has worked.
Yep. The threats worked because they saw it done to their cousins.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. They saw...
No, they didn't.
They saw it happen to Jaden.
Charlie was 9 months old.
Yeah.
So, no, they didn't.
Charlie saw it, and it's ingrained in his subconscious, and he's shared this memory to his brothers.
Yeah,
no.
I
was like, oh no. I was like, Jaden got his mouth washed out with soap. I saw it. So, and I think, she says that Jenna, she's had to do that repeatedly. So they know the threat is real.
Yeah, no, and and I've told them, I've told them that I'm not against doing it. I'm kind of against doing it, but they don't know that. They're asleep right now, BT dubs. So we're good.
I will say that's probably one thing they've started sleeping better. Most of the time.
Most of the time, but only because there's a camera in their room.
Yeah.
And they know that I watch that thing like a hawk.
Yeah. And it sits next to on your side of the bed. So.
Yep. At bedtime, when I say go to bed, I am watching that thing like a hawk. You had better be in your bed.
Yeah.
And, we do want to get the 2 more cameras to expand it out, put one in Bug's room because he's starting to turn into a little snot rag too, and put one in the front room because they've kind of almost started to notice that I can't see them in there, but they haven't really made that connection yet.
I mean, the camera can still hear them.
It can hear them, and they can hear me when I talk into it.
And at the same time, you can also see, like, we could see in the cameras, they're not in either of those 2 rooms.
Right.
The only place they could possibly be is the front room, because we'd hear them if they were in the bathroom.
Right.
We're like, we know where you are.
Hey, we'll find you.
It's like, I may not be able to see you, but I can hear you. And you can hear me. Get your ass in bed.
But, yeah, so, I don't know. They're getting better.
Yeah.
We're getting better.
Yeah. Kinda.
We're trying.
All that can be said.
But if any of you out there in parenting land have any advice for us, by all means.
I don't know why I was suddenly just remember that scene of the asking for advice in A Knight's Tale. He was like, how would you beat him? Like, and with a stick while he slept. I don't think that works in our situation.
No, probably not. I think that's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's usually not encouraged to beat your children with a stick while they're asleep. While they're awake, I mean, that's a whole other thing, but,
So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we may have to kind of... We have let up on the no toys, no stuffed animals thing.
Yeah, they've gotten some of them back. So maybe it's just a matter of taking those back away and going back to prison camp for a week. Hey, you guys were doing better. We gave you some toys back. You guys started being worse, so we're taking them.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to take all of your animals away again because obviously you didn't learn your lesson.
Yep. So maybe that's what it is. Because I did enjoy us going out to the splash pad when we had our Sunday fun day. It was nice.
Yeah.
The boys got to play around. Sam actually enjoyed a splash pad.
I know, yeah, he had a blast. That was great. That was a fun day.
Because he hated the one in San Antonio, and he still was not a fan of the one at the aquarium in Corpus.
No. I still think it was cold. I think that was it. That water was cold.
At both?
Both, yeah. The one in San Antonio was freezing.
No, the one in San Antonio was cold. I will admit to that. That one was pretty cold.
The one at the aquarium wasn't as cold, but it was still pretty cold.
Was it?
Yeah. The only time you got a decent bit of kind of warm water out of that is if you were...
standing under the big dump bucket.
The big dump bucket, because the thing took like 20 minutes to fill up before it dumped and knocked people down on their ass.
No, it actually did.
It did, but it was, and it was like the kids knew when it was about to tip, because then you'd see like 20 kids all sitting on the ground in front of the thing where it was about to, like, you realize you're all going over.
Yeah. Well, they learned. They all sat.
They all sat.
But
I got caught by that thing a couple of times. Me and Damien got caught by that standing up.
Oh, no.
It's a good thing I was right there.
Well, that's like that tunnel at the splash pad here. Poor Buggy. He got stuck in there.
Yeah.
He was in there playing and doing his thing. And then, cause it's actually a really cool little splash pad. It has 3 main water features, the water guns, a like floor jet thing.
Yeah, kind of like your standard, the little like fountain floor jet thingy.
And then a tunnel, which is just like 3 pipes.
Yeah.
That are curved.
With the nozzles and everything. It just shoots in like a car wash.
Yeah, it looks like a big car wash. Well,
or a little car wash.
The tunnel gets pretty intense.
Yeah, it's got some pressure.
It doesn't start that way. It starts off with, it's like, oh, yay, this is fun. And then it's like, holy shit.
And then, yeah, because like the whole thing, it kind of cycles between the things.
Yeah.
So it first starts up and it's just a fountain, and then and then the fountain kind of dies back, and you can use the squirt guns and shoot each other. And then all that cuts out, and then it slowly filters over to the car wash tunnel thing. And it goes from, oh, look, it's coming on, let's run over there, to,
Yeah, by the end, the boys were calling it the storm.
Yeah.
Because that's how bad it was. And poor Buggy, he got stuck.
Just walking through it, and it kicked on, and he was stuck inside. And
I felt bad for him.
He was hosed.
But Sam had a good time. They all really enjoyed it. And
Sam
it was
enjoying shooting his brother with the water gun.
This is true. And it was a nice little splash pad. It wasn't very big.
Yeah.
When we went, we were the only family there, which was lovely.
Yeah.
And it had a shaded area. It was mostly shaded.
Yeah,
I think there was
shaded.
only like one of the water guns was in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And it has this little, wall, a really low wall around it that's maybe like bench level.
Yeah, you're like one of those little wall bench things.
Yeah, all the way around it. So parents had somewhere to sit, and it was out of the line of water.
Yeah. What I liked,
and the guns were
the water guns were rigged so that if you turned them far enough that you could shoot the perimeter wall, they shut off.
They shut off. You weren't able to actually shoot the spectator wall.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
Oh, that's a great trick. Because at first I was like, it's not working. And then I turned it and then it came on. And I was like, oh, wait, hey. And I turn it back. And I'm like, that's cool.
It only works if you point it towards the water.
Yeah, you can only shoot the other people that are shooting at you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is cool. So it was a nice little splash pad. And I wouldn't mind going back there. If the boys could earn it again.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm not going to reward bad behavior.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's been 3 weeks since we've had Sunday Fun Day. That's not my fault.
Yeah.
I have 4 rules clearly labeled on a whiteboard in the kitchen. No lies, no stealing, keep your rooms clean, be good at school.
Yep.
I don't even have be good at home on there.
Yeah.
I've got 4 rules, and they haven't managed to earn it back again.
Yeah.
So, I don't
know. Yeah. I mean, and those are, like you said, those are all perfectly fair. You don't even have behave at home. It's just keep your shit together and don't be a shit.
Yeah.
Mostly. That's really it. No lying, no sneaking around, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't sneak around. Don't lie about it. And, keep your room clean, which I will say that's a tough thing for every kid.
It is.
And I will admit, Sam is quite destructive, but
he is. But
it's keep on it. Don't let your room become a disaster because
exactly by the end of the week, you have all week to be picking up things here and there.
Don't throw your clothes on the floor.
Saturday comes around, you have a whole day to get your room clean.
Yeah.
Because when I look at it on Sunday, if it's not clean, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to leave the house if it looks like a mess.
Mm-hmm. The house should be clean on Sunday because they had all day Saturday because Saturday's basically a cleaning day.
Yeah.
I work Saturday. You basically, it is clean the house. That's what we're doing today.
Yep.
And, yeah.
And unfortunately, some days it doesn't get done.
Some Saturday nights I get home and the house looks nice. Some Saturday nights I come home and it looks like Friday morning.
Yeah. There's sometimes where I'm just like, I don't care. I got them into bed. They're alive. Yeah. Say thank you.
There's still 4 of them.
Exactly. Say thank you. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out,
Yeah.
It worked for a week, so maybe we just need to go back to that week.
Yeah.
And try again. See what we can get out of them then. But, yeah. That's my parenting spiel.
Yeah.
For the week.
Because not a lot else has happened. It's mostly just kind of been built on that.
Well, I had something pretty huge happen. I don't know about you, but my life has changed.
Your life has changed. Yeah. There's a few ways we can go with this, so I'm just going to let you go with this. Because you lead with that, and then I take a guess, and my train of thought is completely different than your train of thought.
Usually.
Because you like to use that really exaggerated, overly dramatic language.
This is not exaggerated.
You could be talking about
dramatic.
You saw a cute puppy on when you were looking at the Humane Society website. So I'm just going to let you go for this.
I renewed my library card.
See what I'm talking about there, folks?
I'm so excited because I haven't gone to the library. I went once when we first moved here, and I tried to go again like a few years after, but I didn't know that out here you have to renew your library card every year, because back home the only library card I ever had was in Sinton, and we didn't have library cards. We just had an electronic database that we kept all of the patrons in. Yeah. So all you had to do was give us your name and we'd pull you up. And if you didn't have, a profile in the system, we'd just put one in there. You didn't get a card. So for me, having to actually keep up with the library card and then remember to renew it every year was just kind of weird.
Yeah. And
it was new, and I didn't know that I had to do it, so I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have to renew our library cards, but, I was 5 or 6 years old when I had my library card before.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's 25-ish years ago. It should change since then.
Yeah.
The original, the library I used to go to, which was the Phoenix Central Library, is now an art museum.
Oh,
it's now the Children's Art Museum. And they built a brand new central library. I had no fucking clue until I had to go there.
Oh, it was when picking up nephews and nieces.
Yeah, I was house sitting and watching my sister's kids while they were out on a cruise. And I was like, oh shit, this is the library? I thought that thing over there was a library. And turned out oh no, that's the kids' art museum. Man,
it used to be the library.
It used to be the library. And then I was in school. I used to go to school right there, and we would walk to the library. And it was you'd see in a movie where you had the teacher on the end and all the kids hand in hand, just a chain crossing the street. No bullshit. But we did that when I was in kindergarten to walk to the library.
But I was super excited because I got to renew my library card. Finally had time to actually go, and thought about, a book I actually wanted to check out from the library. All this stuff. And then Charlie's been wanting to read Harry Potter. So I was like, well, there's a lot of those. They're expensive. So,
yeah,
and I have no clue where my collection is.
I know. It's we've got them somewhere. We've got most of them, if not all of them somewhere.
I have most of them. I don't have all of them. I think I'm missing 3 of them.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
There's somewhere out in the garage. That's the problem.
It's like the black hole.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll go to the library and I'll take care of what I need to take care of. Yeah. And I knew that because the last time I went, in order to get a replacement card, it was going to be $2. And if any of you have ever seen Better Off Dead, where that little kid on the bike is like, $2! I want my $2! That's how it was for me, because every time I was like, oh, I have time to go to the library. Frick, I don't have $2.
Yeah. And
they won't swipe your card unless it's over 5. So you have to have cash. And I never carry cash. But
yeah.
I finally had cash. I finally had time. I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to do it. So I went, and I didn't even have to pay because they redesigned all the library cards. So everybody got to choose a new library card for free, with the new design layout or with the new design rollouts. And of course, I picked the one that says, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. Because, duh. And yeah, that was the highlight of my day. And I found
for all of just you, one guy out there who doesn't know that's a Princess Bride reference.
If you haven't watched The Princess Bride, we can't be friends. Stop listening. Okay. But I was so excited. And then I got the book that I wanted. Well, I got the audiobook of the book that I wanted. Yeah. And
we've mentioned that we started watching Midnight Texas.
Yes. And it's such a good series. It really is. At first I was like, this is kind of lame. And then we watched another episode and I was like,
I was getting into it.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And then I got really into it. And I was like, all right, I really like this series. And
what are the books like?
I wanted to know what the books were like and how, accurate the story is to the books.
Yeah.
So I got the audiobook, and it's actually been really fun because you've been listening to it too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that we both are.
Yeah.
And granted, the chick that reads it is just.
And I understand that, spoilers, there's vampires and were-tigers and psychics and all this supernatural stuff beings going on in this series. But, and I guess I mentioned before, we have this kind of advantage because having seen the show, we've already got a pre-existing mental image of these characters.
Yeah.
So, like, we hear, like, listening to it and we're picturing the actors, which is nice. But we hear the descriptions and we're like,
that is
nothing
not
like
at all. That's wrong.
That's wrong. Lem doesn't look like that.
Yeah, the vampire in the TV show is a tall, black, bald guy.
With like ice blue eyes.
Yeah, with contacts that are like ice blue. And in the book, he's this, sort of short, snow white skin, platinum blonde hair.
Like super
gray
twiggy.
eyes.
Yeah, gray eyes. I'm like,
no.
Big intimidating bald guy. Yeah.
I like our Lem better.
Yeah. TV Lem is better.
TV Lem is better.
I think you said the description reminds you of Jasper from the Twilight series.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought of. I was like, no, that doesn't work.
Lem is not Jasper.
But yeah, so that was the highlight of my week.
But listening to her voices for characters, I'm like, oh, please just stop. No, God, no. Especially, I think our biggest hang up is Lem.
Yeah.
It's such a difference.
Yeah.
From
I thought it was hilarious because I texted you and I was like, oh dear God, the voice she's doing for Lem is awful. And then you get in the car to go to work and you're like, oh, that's terrible.
I text you, oh my God, Lem's voice.
Like, I told you. It's awful. But yeah. So that's been the highlight of my week. And I went back today and, well, so let me kind of backtrack a little. The reason that it was the highlight of my week, for those of you who don't know, I am working towards my master's in library science. So I am working towards being a librarian. So libraries are a very important thing for me. Granted, I haven't been to ours very often. I've got 4 boys. Sue me.
Yeah, time has always been an issue with going to the library. I'm sure you'd hang out there more if you had time.
Come on down to the library. We'll have a wild time.
I don't know where that book is, mate.
There's a lot of them about. But I would definitely would be at the library a lot more if we didn't have kids. But yeah, and I thought it was so cool. They have this thing where if you request a book, like if the book you want isn't in, you can put a request on it. Mm. And then they have a wall of requested books that once they come in, they put your last name, they put like a little name tag. It's just like a printed off piece of paper.
Yeah.
With your last name, your first initial in the book. They put the book on the wall and they text you or they email you or they call you, whichever one you picked. Hmm. Well, I picked text and I was super cool. And on Friday, I got a text from the library because,
Because you think that's cool.
Look. You're just jealous because the library doesn't text you.
Because the library doesn't know me.
See, you're just jealous.
Okay.
So I get a text from the library saying that my book is in, which is Charlie's book. He wanted the second Harry Potter one. And I go over there today and my book's on the wall and it was amazing. I loved it. It was great.
I repeat, because you think that sort of stuff is cool.
It is! And the chick at the circulation desk did kind of laugh at me because I was like super giddy and super happy.
You're way too excited for a library.
I imagine that you walk in there
and they're just calm down. It's just a library.
You don't understand. It's my favorite place. Although, I do hate the new shelving system. Like, just bring back Dewey Decimal.
Oh, they changed it?
Yeah.
I don't know this.
It's stupid. So there was a library, I want to say it's like Seattle's public library.
Common Core get into the library system?
Basically. So I want to say it was like Seattle's public library. I could be completely wrong. Mm-hmm. But there was a library that Dewey Decimal didn't have enough decimals. Mm-hmm. So there's obviously 9 different categories of books, 100 through 900. Mm-hmm. Within those 9 categories, there are up to 99 subcategories. Because you can have up to, 100, 101, 102. Mm-hmm. And then you have your decimal points after that to subcategory. This library had more books and more categories than Dewey Decimal had decimals. So they basically just did away with Dewey Decimal.
Which For those of us who are doing the math, that is, there were previously 891 categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like individual,
there's category and then subcategory.
Yeah. That wasn't enough for Seattle.
Their public library
Seattle.
takes up an entire city block.
Fuck you,
and
Seattle.
It's 2 stories, at least 2 stories. I think it might be more.
Yeah,
it's an entire city block and at least 2 stories.
But but the issue is not.
I get it.
That it's the category is still the category.
Not technically. So the way that they do it now is fiction or nonfiction, as usual.
Okay. And
typically, juvenile fiction.
Yeah.
Like your YA stuff. And they separate it into like supernatural, mystery.
Sometimes those
fantasy,
are the same thing.
Sci-fi. And so I'm like, where the fuck do I find this book?
Yeah.
Like I can't just go to a shelf and figure out where I am. I have to go to the computer. And I hate that. Like before I knew, this is the section that I'm in.
System.
I knew the Dewey Decimal System. Like this is the section that I'm in. Okay, there's my author, here's my book.
Yeah.
It made sense to me. This does not make sense to me.
This is millennial library.
Yeah, and I had to like stop and think like, okay, what would my book be? Mystery? No.
Yeah,
Sci-fi?
how would you
No.
Yeah, how would you describe this?
Fantasy, maybe? No, it's not here in fantasy. Maybe it's under supernatural. There's my author.
Yeah, and like especially when you're talking about like especially in those categories because horror, supernatural, fantasy, sci-fi, those all can intermingle.
They blend.
They blend very much because like you can have a supernatural sci-fi.
Yeah.
Supernatural does that shit. The show. Mm-hmm. Midnight Texas does that.
That's why, at first I looked
supernatural, is this horror?
I looked in fantasy at first because I was like, well, it's got like these characters, so I'll go to fantasy first.
Yeah.
And it wasn't there, so I was like, well, it's got vampires and stuff, so maybe it's supernatural.
Yeah.
And it was there. I was like, all right, well, whatever.
Yeah.
It was weird. I don't like it. But apparently all libraries are moving away from Dewey Decimal, which is...
Now, I never learned the Dewey Decimal System, but I could at least...
I can show it to you. I have it on my Pinterest board.
I know you do. But I was like, I never memorized, but I never understood it in that, like, I understand, I know you can look at a number off a Dewey Decimal System, just see the number tag off a book, and you know where it is. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But I can look at the book and the number, or like, that I can see the book and the number, and I can make that relation to other books that are like that.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's what I'm like, I don't understand, because if it was part of a series, it was also labeled as series, so they kept all the series books together, which made sense. But then I'm like, how do you shelve this crap?
How do you organize it?
Because, like, this doesn't make sense, because it used to go
system, it was
numerically, then alphabetically.
Yeah.
You go by the decimal and then by the author. This does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
If somebody out there in nerdy library land can explain this to me in a way that makes sense, please do.
Yeah.
But library was the highlight of my week.
Yeah. Up until today, I think.
Up until today?
Yeah. Because today, and I guess we need to wrap it up soon, but today we went to the Spirit Halloween store.
Oh my God. So we did kind of let the boys have a Sunday fun day, and we took them to the Spirit store.
It was very much for our benefit, they got to take.
Oh my God. I'm actually very proud of us. We walked away only spending like $20 when we really could have walked away spending like $200 or $300.
Yeah, we could have spent $200 or $300.
Easily.
But at the same time, we're like, and like I said when we left, like I would have rather we spent $200 or $300 if we could get away with it.
Yeah,
we just can't get away with it right now.
Not right now.
Like, oh, I would have, and I honestly would have.
There was just so much cool stuff.
They've got a lot of like in the past. It's been really kitschy.
It has. It's always been really campy.
And I'd be like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, or
it was
just poorly made. Like, we'd see a really cool looking wine glass and go pick it up and it's plastic.
Like,
and it's like,
no, I want a nice. It was like, you want a really nice, like, spider web wine glass? I want that to be real. I want to be able to use that. I don't want this for
a Halloween party.
Yeah, I don't want this at a kid-friendly Halloween party. I want to be concerned for, is this going to break?
Yeah, like, is this dishwasher safe?
Because our wine glasses are like that. We have very nice, like, spider web and skeleton wine glasses.
The skull and crossbones.
Yeah, it's like, they're very nice. We've had to look very hard to acquire them every year because
they haven't had them.
When they go on sale, they're the first things to go. It's like the stores, they get like one shipment of those at the very beginning of the season. Once they're sold out, they're gone, and they switch everything. Yeah, they switch everything to autumn, and then suddenly it's turkeys and leaves and scarecrows.
Yeah.
But yeah, it used to be we'd go in there, and there was like, it was the cheesy, cheap Halloween stuff, and like there was some cool stuff to check out, but we very rarely would buy anything.
Yeah, it was more just to go see the scary, silly decorations that they have on those trimey pads, you know?
Yeah. Occasionally there'd be something cool to get.
Not usually. Maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
But this year, oh my goodness, they really upped their game. They have some really cool Hocus Pocus stuff.
They had a whole section, like a whole display of all Hocus Pocus stuff, which was awesome.
Yep. And the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, all the Jack Skellington stuff that they had, we could totally redo the boys' bathroom in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because they literally had everything. Awesome. And it was amazing.
Shower curtains, bath mats, the soap, everything. It was great.
It was awesome. And I mean, they just have really good quality stuff now. Like we saw the Sanderson sister costumes.
Those were nice.
And you're talking to a costume nerd here.
Yeah.
I was in theater. I know what constitutes a good costume and what constitutes a
cheap
Party City costume.
Yeah.
These were not Party City quality. These were good quality. I mean, they were $50, so they damn well better be.
Yeah.
But they were good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, these have my stamp of approval.
Yeah.
You know, they're not high-end crushed velvet or whatever, but...
Yeah, it's like, it's not going to weigh the 50 pounds that the actual costumes... If you actually had that dress properly, God, those things would weigh a ton.
If you had, like, the full corset and everything that it took to actually have those costumes on, hell no.
Yeah.
These were dress replicas.
Yeah.
And they were good.
Nice. They were nice. They looked good. They were
I'd wear it.
well made.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing when I was over there when we were like passing through like the women's costumes and stuff. And now you've got all the superheroes. So you've got the Wonder Womans and you've got the Batgirl stuff. And those were well made.
Yeah.
They weren't plastic. It was like, yeah, it's pleather. But you know what? It was well made and it was stitched and it was... Like, this is not some plastic crap.
It wasn't just a piece of fabric cut out.
It's not a piece of cut out fabric, and we're going to stick a brand on it, and we're going to charge you $50. Like, this was well made. Like, that's a good looking costume. That's going to hold up.
Yeah.
And,
so, yay, Spirit Store.
Yay, Spirit Store.
But it sucks because there's so many things at Spirit Store that we want to buy, but there's also a bunch of things at Michael's that I want to buy because, as we've said before, we kind of use Halloween as our time to decorate the house. I would describe our aesthetic as glam goth. Like, if you're
more glam because you like glitter, but yes.
If you go on Pinterest and search glam goth, you'll see what our house generally looks like.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty sugar skulls and skeletons and pumpkins and cats and stuff. Yeah. And
that's just our style.
Yeah, but it's not the,
we're not cheesy and kitschy stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah. We could very easily spend about $400 in household decorations this year. And while I would be upset that we spent that much, I would not be mad at it.
I think if we did that, though, we'd probably say, this is it. We don't need anything else unless something really nice comes along that's like, wow, that's a really nice thing. We should add this to the collection.
I have never seen Michael's have such good stuff like this. And I really think it's because Spirit Store upped their game too.
Yeah. Everybody really upped their game this Halloween.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll find somewhere else that we can acquire glasses.
Right.
But I think that catches us up that caught us up to today, really.
Yep.
And
so that's what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks, y'all.
Yep. Yelling at kids, taking teddy bears away and shopping for Halloween stuff. And a trip to the library.
Yay!
Or two.
It was the best time of my life.
But I think it's time to wrap things up, dear.
It's been that time. We've got 4 kids. You think you would have said that at least 2 kids ago. Damn it.
Anyway, any final thoughts for this time, this show, dear?
Spay and neuter your pets.
Or your significant other.
That too.
Always have your spouse spayed or neutered. Neutered. Whatever. Yep.
Spay and neuter your spouse.
Yep. I'd say Bob Ross is... Bob Ross.
Nope.
Fuck.
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker, that guy. Yeah. I'd say Bob Barker's rolling in his... Bob Ross is rolling in his grave. That I possibly mistook him for Bob Barker, who's not dead. So...
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not dead yet. Yep. But Bob Barker would, probably not approve of this message.
If he met our kids, I bet he would.
Maybe. All right. But...
All right. Do all the stuff. Tell them where they can find us.
If you want to reach out to us and find some more weird stuff and silly parenting things and goofy little stories that we like to share, check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/momanddadcuss, or email us at momanddadcuss@gmail.com. And we actually have a way to check that now, because we were nobody was reaching out to us. Email us. Just say hey. Or send us a message on Facebook. And I think you can leave a review for us on Facebook too. Or on Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you subscribe to the show. And subscribe and review and do all those fun things, because you're awesome. Because you listen to us, so you've got to be awesome. Totally. I'm saying right now. I'm deciding. So do all those things and check out the show notes at momanddadcuss.blogspot.com, and you can subscribe there and do all those other fun things there too. But until next time, which I'm not going to give a time limit, because sometimes we can do this and sometimes we can't. But until next time,
you're Adam.
See, you made fun of me for it, so I'm trying to come up with something, and you're just sitting there twiddling around on Pinterest. Thanks a lot.
I'm gonna show you how to read the Dewey Decimal System.
Well, it's extinct now, apparently.
You're extinct. You're Adam.
I'm Adam.
I'm ReAnna.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.